walls close quick. The blood in the air is so thick. Are you ready to die? Or are you ready to quit? Finish him. Finish him!
Judges, I'm here with Patty Broken Skull. Patty!
Yeah, I'm not playing the music anymore because it's not worth it, okay? It's not worth it to play my little Snoop Dogg intro there. Spotify doesn't like it anyways, and we're getting shadow banned. Still better than The Fighter and the Kid, always will be. First things first here in the news, guy. I don't like it. But again, this is the only way this guy can ever remain relevant. Colby Covington bitching about being freezed out of getting contracts changed. Okay? But I think you and I can agree, and I think most people would, that of all the people that shouldn't be allowed to negotiate their fights, it's Colby Covington. You know what I mean?
He's pretty much forgotten now. So,
and whatever fights he was negotiating for, he didn't do well in. So why is he got to be the voice? You know what I mean? It's senseless. Are people like gonna, yeah, Colby, where's your fucking change.com? You know, petition, we'll sign it. No one's what? Why are people even putting this? Like, what is this? Sports Illustrated talking about it. Sure Dog talking about it. MMA Mania, CBS Sport. Okay, that's a different thing. Both those last two are different things. Now here's MMA Mania actually covering MMA shit, saying Joe Rogan reminds you that Tom Aspinall was busted up against legit Cyril Gane. Remember that? Like, Joe's really hyper-focused on that. Don't ever let that man be a judge, because if he sees blood, boy, oh boy, you lost. Again, though, if that was a street fight, that is how it would go. If you're the guy that walks away with blood on, like, you're the one bleeding, you lose, dude. You just lost. But again, there's more that goes into this, Joe Rogan. This isn't your average street fight. All right? Cyril Gane stinks. More on that later at 11. Yeah, what up? What else? Huh? Anything?
Well, Ronda Rousey apparently showed up in AEW at their pay-per-view to help Marina. You know, the lady that I was talking about was on the reality show that WWE had when Ronda Rousey, they're showing her at her house, and Marina Shafir's like shoveling crap out in the barn and shit like that.
Wow. Paid her dues.
Paying her dues.
Aljamain Sterling's nothing.
I was going to bring up speaking of Rousey, the Netflix fight that she's on, they added another fight to that card. So there's 3 fights listed now. And one, Nate Diaz versus Mike Perry. So that's actually pretty interesting.
What? Okay.
I'm actually going to watch this fucking thing. It's on Netflix. I'm not paying any extra. And it's Mike Perry, Nate Diaz. Okay, I'll check it out. Felipe Leans, who cares? But Francis Ngannou, I hadn't seen in forever. Check him out. So I'll tune in. I'm kind of curious what else they're gonna put on that card.
That they're slowly feeding us. You know what I mean? That's fun.
Yeah, I like that too. And some of these fights are gonna be better than some of these upcoming UFC cards.
What I'm wondering is probably the major issue here, because again, WWE is under Netflix contract as well as ESPN. UFC is under Paramount contract. But then Netflix is like, much like ESPN, we're going to start our own MMA thing. Guys, This feels like bad business. Like, because eventually in my head, I'm thinking, well, Paramount is going to give up I mean, what'd they pay for? Was it like $9 billion or some shit? They paid some stupid amount. Yeah. And they're going to end up, once it's over, going to Netflix. What, they're going to get it's so stupid.
It is wild. And I thought it was bad business when ESPN started getting in partnership with PFL. I thought they should, if you got UFC, you're airing UFC, go all in on UFC. No need to air PFL commercials during UFC events.
Weird. So strange.
I know why they would, to get people to watch it, but if I'm the UFC, I'm going to be pretty pissed about that.
Well, it didn't work for Daniel Cormier's podcast, so they can promote with shit all they want. We don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? That's why real fans, not just the casual people that want to see a knockout or want to see, whatever the fuck they want to see, which is probably blood like Joe Rogan. We want to watch Nate Diaz versus Mike Perry because there's interest there. There's like, oh, this could be a very strange fight. This could not, you know what I mean? Not only could it be brutal, it could be very strange. And seeing them fight out of somewhere that isn't the UFC could make it even that much more brutal. They're like, hey, we're going to show up. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to make a point. And the fact that, oh my God, get Fedor on the fucking card, dude. He probably was up for the Francis fight. I bet you they tried to get Fedor.
That him versus Francis.
I mean,
sure, Francis would knock him out because Fedor's so old, but I'd fucking definitely tune in. You got me watching just for that.
I don't care where that fucking lands on the card. You could still let Ronda fucking headline. Let me see that fucking Fedor Francis fight. I'm in. Get Brock on the card versus CM Punk. I don't care. There's interest there. It's more interesting than what's happening. Our last YouTube video I put out, the last podcast we did, is basically, I was shitting on Paramount and how it's been. Yeah, the convenience is there. But is that convenience what's making the fighters fight the way that they're fighting? Because only some of these guys are doing their job, where the rest of them, it's like, oh, just be in there as long as you can. And I hate that.
I hate that as well.
Because we were so high up, dude, and maybe it was our fault, being so high up on this Paramount shit, only for them to let us down. We are to blame a little bit there, but again, it is them, the fighters themselves, put on the show, man. Sports entertainment.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Brock Lesnar versus Fedor, I would tune in to see that. I don't care if they're all old; they're both old, busted up, career's over. Fuck it, I'm watching.
All right, Bobby Lashley versus I don't know anyone. Mark Coleman. Bring Mirko Krokop back for a Bobby Lashley fight. What are we talking? Hey, throw Brendan Schaub on the card. Fuck it. He used to date Ronda.
So the guy
Brendan Schaub versus anybody on this card. I'm telling you right now, Sam. He needs the money because he's in Austin, not doing comedy. Why are you there? He can't be doing anything, right? For money. No fucking way. You give him a fucking nice fat payday on a Netflix card. Brendan's taking a fight. Why are you working out so much, buddy? And that's the thing too. That's what I realized about Brendan recently. If he was as confident in himself as a fighter, he would have taken any of these fights because I guarantee you they've thrown money his way, and he just won't do it because he's not confident in his skill set. He never was. He never was. Look at any of his fights and the way that Brendan threw punches. He was scared as shit.
Like I say, bring in the guy that, and I can't think of his name, the guy that groomed Thug Rose. Bring him in.
Pat Barry.
Yeah, Pat Barry. There you go.
Get his ass in there. I mean, like I said, you gotta think outside the box. I mean, Andrew Tate went out there and was just boxing some random model recently. Like, you gotta think of these guys that tried to get Batista on the card. Fuck around if you want to, dude. People will tune in to see it happen. You know what I mean? Because that's fun. It's a fucking circus. Let's keep fucking having the circus animals do the tricks. You know what I'm talking about? Michael Johnson's not happy about his last fight, though, man. You want to talk about this?
Yeah. I mean, we can get into Michael. So what's he not happy about? The way
He's ashamed.
It was judged.
He's mad at himself, which is fine. He's not making excuses. I'm just saying
against Drew Dober. Okay. One
of the first fighters to do that, right? To be like, God damn it, that's on me. Like, fuck. I like that. That's a true veteran and somebody who was humble enough to do. I mean, look at his record, dude. He's lost so much.
Yeah.
He's humble in defeat as he is in victory.
Yeah. Let's go over these fights that just took place, man. I'm gonna skip the first couple of them. This Bia Mosquito lady, they could have a star on their hands. I've told you this as soon as she came in there. They could have a star on their hands if they handle her right. She had no problem with Montserrat Rendon. Fucking submitted her, no time. And she landed on her, too. She had no problem landing. And when she got on top of her, she beat her up on the ground before she submitted her. She ain't just coming to settle on people.
I think that's proof that she's improving. She's not just, I'm good at jiu-jitsu. I'm not just going to be that. And that's what we need, because that's what it was in UFC 70s and the early hundreds. Like, hey, this guy's got one thing that he's good at. Be worried about that, and then you get knocked out by that guy who's a jiu-jitsu guy. You're like, the fuck happened? He's like, well, he got good at hands. He's out of hands now. I don't know what you want me to say. He got better. No. But yeah, you're right. She's a star. Real pretty girl as well. She sells, and she's one of those that can, I would imagine, go against most of the top right now. I don't see a real struggle, right? Can you think of anybody?
No, that
Bant
she would struggle against? No, I really can't.
has got to do it right. If she can't be inconsistent, she's got to stay on the horse.
And we have
Keep
yet to
getting
see her get hit really hard too, so that could change a couple things.
back.
Uh, I kind of curious your thoughts on this Eric Anders, man. He retired. Then he had his Hall of Fame worthy career. I know you want to speak on that.
Well, they certainly made it out like the man has done some things. And yeah, he was memorable, when there was fucking 75 fighters on the roster. At this point, it's like we've seen him so much that they don't even talk about why he's a fighter anymore. When he first got in, they were like, yeah, this guy's Alabama, he's like a middle linebacker, all this stuff. Now there's like Eric Anders is here again. Here we go. Everybody buckle up. He used to be so explosive. And also having that football background and talking about it made it intimidating. Like this guy's got strength that just comes from somewhere else. And it's gone now. He doesn't have it. But what do you do? I say you throw that man in a suit and he takes Anthony Smith's job.
It sounds like he has no interest in MMA at all. He's like, I'm not going to open up a gym. I'm not doing any of that shit.
I don't think he really did ever. And those guys were some of the best guys, Sam. We know that. They had the biggest heart. And that Eric lost it. He just didn't care anymore. That's fine.
This Sosa versus Oki. This Oki, man, he comes in there throwing with all his might, but Sosa was just accurate, landed a bunch of body shots, landed any way he wanted to. I mean, Oki was trying his damnedest. He really was, but this Manuel Sosa ended up getting a knockout round 3. I kind of curious your thoughts on this guy. He looked pretty good in there.
Well, I think this says a lot about both guys. I think it says that they are both elite. And I think against anybody else, they probably walk away with an easy victory. I think because they fought each other, this was going to be hell. And they're going to get after it. And they had to. And there were some moments in there where Oki did look like he was okay. He was sort of getting back at it. And then Sosa was just more explosive, right back on him. Just, I would say, more hungry. He saw himself winning and he went in there and he took the victory. And I think you put either one of these guys against somebody else. What is this? Lightweight? Not too high up on the roster, but you go a little higher on the roster for either one of these guys. I'd like to see what either one of them do and still probably be in their corner. You know what I mean? Sosa's scary. I forgot all about him coming from the Contender Series and shit. I just did not. That's where he's from, right? I think I saw those highlights, and it was just okay. Let's see. Because we were sort of more high up, at least last week on Oki than Sosa for sure. Looks like a little.
This Elijah Smith looked fantastic in his fight against So Young. He ended up choking him out round 3, but I mean, this guy is like a phenom. He looked great.
And this is what we were talking about too. We talked about this early on in the podcast, probably this year, about the fighters that came up and fought because they had to eat, and fighters that got to grow up with a dad who was a fighter, with a gym in their home, with pads in their home, with a speed dial phone call away from a gym. And we're seeing that come to fruition with somebody like Elijah Smith, and I hope to see that with a lot more of these other guys that come up. Not that they should need to fight, but Elijah didn't need to fight. He just chose to, and he's damn good at it.
Now, this fight did no favors for anybody. I don't even want to see Steven Asplin around anymore after this. Vitor Petrino, I definitely don't want to see him around. He was running away most of the goddamn fight. But he wins. He wins a decision. And it was just, Asplin couldn't reach the guy. He was throwing like power shots, but he couldn't get inside. He couldn't reach him. And Petrino was good at getting away.
Yeah, a lot of punches thrown aimlessly instead of where he was going to be, rather than where he is. And Steve caught him a couple of times. He hit him some heavy shots, but Petrino just hit him so much more and avoided so much more. I think he had better defense. He's so sloppy, though. He gets real sloppy, where it's like, how long has this guy been fighting? You know what I mean? How many fights he really got? Because it looks new. And that sucks. Because that means that they're pushing this guy. I mean, Steven Aspin's not like a big name here, but they took and put Vitor in a whole different weight class.
Yeah, he was up and coming, though.
But that's what I'm saying, is that's what they think. And it's like he needs the experience. And because otherwise it just looks like this. This is a guy you should have crushed. On paper, you probably should have crushed him. And you just did. So it's like exactly what you said, Sam. Here's what I do with both their papers. I fucking throw them in the air. I don't know what's next, dude. This heavyweight division is so fucked. Hey, bring fucking John Jones and Aspinall back and make them wear fucking headgear and shin pads. That way we can see another fight in fucking 6 years.
Chris Curtis, when are they gonna cut this guy? I mean, he got
We don't
taken down nonstop. I mean, he was fighting Mitabek Orabai, and I mean, he was taken down 19 times. But Chris Curtis, he hasn't done anything in a long time. He came straight in. I still remember. It's funny. I can't remember shit that happened 5 minutes ago, but I remember talking to you when this guy first came on the scene in the UFC. It was like this guy's average in PFL. PFL, he's lost like his last, maybe 1-1, 2-2, something like that. He came in the UFC, he made me look dumb. He's knocking fools out left and right. And now here we are. We got this guy who came in on fire, knocked out like maybe 4 people in the row or something. But his last several fights, he's just not had it.
He's gone. He gave up, and that sucks, man. When somebody gets that deal of like, oh, I couldn't hack it over here in PFL, the under organization. I get to the big leagues, and now I'm gonna light it on fire. Make people think differently, and then this, come on, man. It's almost like a fight that we're gonna talk about eventually. That Kutalaba, it was like, hey, man, fucking get rid of this guy. And they're like, okay, keep him. Never mind, keep him. He talks good too. He also talked good, Sam. When they do that, I was like, there's no way this guy speaks a lick of English, and he fucking talks like a normal guy. I would still never speak to him in public. That's a horrifying looking guy. He's no good. You know how you feel about Bashar? That's how I feel about Kutalaba. Like he chews into trees for no reason. This guy away from me.
Charles Johnson, Bruno Silva. I know they're trying to keep this storyline with Johnson. Well, he's got that win over Joshua Van. Man, this was a split decision. Both of these guys landed almost an identical amount of punches. The thing is, you had a judge go 29-28 Johnson, 29-28 Silva with another judge, and one judge 30-27 Johnson. I always fail to see how that happens, how one judge has all 3 rounds for someone when the other 2 judges didn't.
Are you guys sitting next to each other? Did he show up late? He just got here?
This guy's got the assignment, hey, we got to keep the storyline intact that he can knock out Joshua Van, even though he's 19-8.
Dude, this motherfucker was throwing a lot of shots without looking at his target. And Bruno would just stand there. He would keep his hands up and eyes open and move out of the way, bang, bang, come right back with shots. I was like, he's like desperate, hoping to catch him. And of course, that's how Charles kind of has always fought. But I'm like, this is not going to keep that storyline going. No one's going to root for that. Oh, him versus Joshua Van should be a real banger. It's like, it won't be. Yeah. I think he'll get crushed.
And Joshua Van fucked him up the first 2 rounds and then just got wore out.
Well, Bruno was he seemed to fight more of like a counter striker in this match, whereas I think Joshua would be more of the guy coming after Charles. And if Charles isn't looking at his target, he's going to get hit with a lot harder shots and a lot more often because Joshua fights that way. He's going to try to get you out in the first 90 seconds. He ain't waiting. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, keep the storyline because we need something to happen at flyweight anyways. Good God. Yeah, Ion Cutelaba just mentioned this. Good submission, first round. Beautiful work. I mean, what the fuck you say, man?
Yeah, he had no trouble with Omar.
It bothers because maybe they tried to push him too soon and we didn't know about Ankalaev like we do now, right? Kutelaba didn't know about Ankalaev like we do now. So knowing that he was like, oh, he's up there for the title, was the champion, all this shit, it's like, okay, Kutelaba isn't as bad as he thought he was. He just got a raw deal on some of these fights that he's took. You know what I mean? It's going to happen. Same thing with the next one. This fucking dude's jaw broke.
Yeah, this was so back and forth. So it was kind of disappointing that it ended with his jaw's broke. He's not coming out to fight anymore. We got to get it fixed.
That was the best thing I've seen since fucking I showed you that Lorenzo whatever fucking from BKFC breaking his arm. Let's go. More injuries, more violence. I'm telling you right now, I'm getting sick of this shit. They need to start biting each other. This guy though, this Harry Hardwick guy, tough as nails. I have to give him that. Tough motherfucker for real. I want to see him fight again, 100%. I don't care who he fights again. Give him another fucking contract. Absolutely. Because that shows a lot of heart to me. That man was still trying to talk afterwards, too. Like, you dumb motherfucker.
Yeah, Marvin did a great, too. It was back and forth. I mean, they could run it back, really. I'd
be so scared if I was a dude that got my jaw broke. God damn it.
Yeah, you don't want to run it back right after his surgery to fix his jaw.
Now he fucking pokes him in his eye. Now he can't see. He just disables him. handicaps him. Andre Fili, Jose Delgado. This was a very veteran type of fight to me. It felt like Fili got off early a lot, but he didn't capitalize, which again that's a flaw in the veteran thing of jumping too soon and jumping too late, and or not jumping at all. And Fili didn't jump. He didn't jump on the shots that he should have jumped on, and he hit them with the 1-2s a couple times. It was just nasty, and you're like, now go. But I think he just knew about Delgado's. He's a good wrestler. He's got great grappling too. He didn't want to get caught in a choke, whatever it was. It was just a fun fight. I liked this fight. Really sat there and watched it. It wasn't as bad as some of these other decisions that we've seen. You know what I mean? This is actually okay. Fucking these guys are trying to get after it. But what do you do with a Jose Delgado who only goes to a decision against Andre Fili, where it's like, I don't expect you to knock him out, but it's like, we kind of need you to do something.
Yeah, you need to look more impressive than. I thought it was a very even fight. I mean, I thought he won, but I thought it was pretty damn close. So
For me to tell, it was one of those where it's like, if I'm fucking having to be a judge, fuck that. I can't even do it. You know what I mean? What are we judging on? Who's cooler tattoos? I don't know. Lemos, Robertson went exactly how we expected. You know, we kind of said this. This shows the eliteness of Jillian. She's got a chin. That's huge. Okay, because Lemos did catch her a couple times, some hard shots, and Jillian just took it. She just ate it, kept moving. Even when she was on the ground and she had some of those weird grappling positions, getting hit, she still just took it and kept going, which is very, again, veteran status of somebody like Jillian, who's not even really a veteran, but she's got a lot of fights in the UFC. That's huge. I say, you know, you just keep pushing her, give her another big fight, give her another big name. I think it's only a matter of time before she does get a title shot. It's not going to be great unless she does improve that striking. She's got to learn to stand a little bit more. Be less afraid of it, because look who you're fighting against. They're afraid to punch you too. Like most of them are grapplers as well. Lemos was the hardest puncher, I would imagine, in this general vicinity of that roster, you know, of this specific division.
And I think Jillian, a lot of those people hold back their punches because they don't want to get taken down to the ground.
So it's like, might as well at least learn to throw a giant overhand, you know, an overhand, and then shoot the double, man. Make them afraid of it, because it would be crazy if you see Jillian, or even a head kick, dude, because that's so unexpected from somebody who's predominantly a grappler. They do not expect a head kick. You're not the one that's going to want to throw your leg up. You're waiting for the leg to come at you. But yeah, Josh Emmett, good night. See you tomorrow. Who were you anyways? Let's move on. Next card.
Yeah, I think Herb Dean wanted this guy to get brain damage. My God, he didn't want to stop that fight. I'm like, dude, stop the fight. Stop the fight. This guy's getting murdered in there.
Well, I mean, you got to put the dog down. You don't want to keep him moving, and then,
I'm like,
you know,
damn, what he called Herb Dean the N-word before the fight? What the fuck happened? He just let him take a beating in there. Jesus.
Yeah, that's true. He's like, there's nothing I hate more than a bald white guy. Hawaiian tattoos, beat him down. I don't know. Again, it's hard to argue here that Kevin Vallejos is that good, right? If you've been watching MMA at all, it's like, well, it's fucking Josh Emmett. That's what you should have did.
Yes.
Yes. Did that, but who's after
the
this?
Same thing with Delgado.
That's what I'm saying. Well, who's after? Feelings. What do we do now? I got to see that. I can't really make a particular take here. Either way, good shit. I'm glad that he did that. Imagine if he didn't. Then what do you fucking do with Josh Emmett? Like, son of a bitch, dude.
No.
That running again?
Right? Yeah, we're at the O2 Arena. The O2 Arena. I'll try to remember to cut that out, but I probably won't. It starts off Melissa Mullins versus Luana Carolina. Mullins, she's from England. 7-2. She likes to stand up. She's lost 2 of her last 3 fights. Carolina, she's 11-5. She lost a decision in her last fight against an undefeated fighter. She was coming in at that fight. She had 3 wins in a row. She will stand and trade. She doesn't do very well with that, though. If she gets her wrestling in, she's got really good wrestling. She'll have some success. So it all depends on her wrestling. If she's going to try to wrestle or if she's going to stand up and get beat up on.
Just hope it doesn't take that long.
It will take long. You see the first... anyway, next... yeah, you know, you might as well just, if you're listening to this, don't even cut the card on until, 40 minutes after it starts. All right. Chanel Dyer versus Ravana Oliveira. All right, you got Dyer. She's 24 years old. And these women shouldn't even be in the UFC. Dyer, 6-1, 4 KO wins. She's making her UFC debut after losing the decision on the Contender Series. And even though it was a decision loss, she got dropped like 2 or 3 times in that fight. Oliveira, she's 7-3, 6 KO, 1 sub win, so all finishes. And she's been subbed out twice. She's 0-2 in the UFC. She was choked out in her last fight against Stephanie Luciano. This is probably going to be a split decision. Oliveira probably wins. Who knows?
Yep.
Next, Shim Rock versus Abdul Kareem Al Sweety. Rock, I just want to say Sham Rock, so fucking bad. 11-2, 2 KO, 8 sub wins. This man lives by the rear naked choke. He's got 6 wins by rear naked choke, and most of the people he's fought, they were in the Octagon organization, just average fighters. He made his UFC debut in his last fight, couldn't get a takedown against Narella Aliv. Anyway, he got beat up on his feet. It went to a decision. He lost 30-27. All the judges. Al Sweety, 15-4, 8 KO wins, 4 KO losses. He had a decision win on a Contender Series. That was all the way back in August 2023. Made his UFC debut March, and then got knocked out. That was his last fight. We haven't seen him in 2 years. That was March 2024. So, I mean, what happens, man? Shamrock takes him down, sets on him.
I forget who he came out with, but I think he's definitely Irish, right? He came out with somebody in the last fight, which kind of makes you hope for him, but I don't remember who it is at this point, so not that much hope.
And the heavyweight bouts next. Louis Sutherland, Brandon Persig. Sutherland, this is the Vanilla Gorilla guy. He's from England. He's 10-4. This is a true 265-pound fat stomach, muscular arm heavyweight. This guy's a striker. He does have some takedown skills. He was supposed to fight Justin Tafa in his UFC debut. Just imagine, you're going to fight Justin Tafa. You're thinking you had UFC setting me up to get a knockout. The only other guy would have been Austin Lane, but all right, Tafa will do. And then Tafa pulls out of the fight, and you got to face Walter Walker, because that's what happened to him. And Walter Walker did what he does, took him down, put him in the heel hook. Anyway, Brando Perisic, he's 5-1, 4 KO, 1 sub wins. He's from Australia, and most of his guys have losing or even records. You know, who knows, man? This fight's a toss up.
I mean, it's as cool of a nickname as Vanilla Gorilla could be. It never works out for that guy. It just doesn't. I don't know why, but yeah, we need heavyweights, man. Somebody do something.
All right, so I'll try to say this guy's name. Mentes,
No, dude.
Condre Vicious,
I like it. It should be that.
Antonio Tricoli. All right.
12-6.
Yeah, 12-6. Montez, he's 8-1, 6 KO, 2 sub wins. Won his last 3 fights as his UFC debut. Saw him on a Contender Series. He had a first round knockout in 1 minute and 6 seconds. And Tricoli, he's 35 years old. I mean, he's been finished 4 times. He's 0-3 in the UFC. He's looked fucking terrible. He's finished all 3 of those fights. Trayshawn Gore, this is another guy that Trayshawn Gore tried to pull his head off. And this guy's awful. We need to see him gone.
Yeah, I think this might be a setup fight for Montez. Like another, kill him. Go eat.
Heavyweight bout. Mario Pinto versus Felipe Franco. Pinto 11-0, 7 KO, 1 sub wins. We've seen him 3 times. All 3 of those times he's got a knockout win. He knocked out Denise in his last fight. He's got very heavy hands. The guy's accurate as can be. And Franco, he's only 29. He's 10-1, 6 KO, 4 subs. But he came in on the Contender Series. He was expected to beat up the high school teacher, Freddie Vidal, but he lost. Vidal choked him out, and then Vidal got to come back on, all that stuff. So, you know, this guy, he went back on the independent scene. He beat up a guy who's 10-8 and a guy that's 1-2. He shouldn't be back in the UFC.
Here's what I want to throw at you, too. I think Mario Pinto might be our dark horse in the heavyweight division. Because he has not had a flaw, first and foremost. Secondly, he's quiet. There ain't nothing. No one's talking about it.
Yeah.
And he's straight up undefeated. He's big as shit too, right? 6'4", 265, right at the edge, bro. And he's lightning fast. Got to reach, right? What is his reach? 79-inch. What are we talking about? That's the dark horse, man. You talk about an 84-inch reach for a John Jones at heavyweight. This dude at 79, the quickness, the natural heavyweight of him. This might be the actual John Jones of heavyweight division.
Next
Like
to
natural.
featherweight, Nathaniel Wood, Lucene, Keita. Wood 22-6. He's won his last 3, 6 of his last 7 fights, all decisions. In fact, this guy hasn't had a finished win since March 2019. He's looked just fine in his fights, though. I don't really have any flaws with him. Lucene, he's won his last 5 fights. All of them were in the Octagon promotion. Belgian fighter, 16-1, 10 KO wins. This will be his UFC debut. He was supposed to take on Pitbull a few months ago, but he missed weight by 3 pounds, and Pitbull refused to fight him. So, I don't know, man. Nathaniel Wood's such a vet. I'm leaning his way. I mean, I know this guy probably, they probably expect this guy to finish him, but Nathaniel Wood, he can take a damn beating, and he can counter punches. So, I'm leaning his way.
Good at staying in that pocket, man. He'll stay right there in your fucking face, eat them shots as he throws them, and also he's great head movement. He reminds me a lot of the featherweights from back in the day. Mark Hominick, fighting Jose Aldo. What was he, a Canadian? Very similar body type, short and stocky, but lightning fast. Great chin, good wrestling. This is going to be a fun fight, and it would be a shame if it would go anything less than 2 rounds. If it gets ended quickly, it would be a surprise. I would be very surprised.
And I think, in my opinion, the longer it goes on, the better off for Wood. So, Mason Jones versus Axel Sola. This is Jones' second stint in the UFC, 17-2. When he came back in the UFC, he earned my respect. He had that stand-up war, just a big dog fight against Jeremy Stevens. He won by decision. But both those guys beat the living crap out of each other. He knocked out Oki in his last fight. Sola is 11-0, 1 draw, 6 KO, 1 sub wins. He made his UFC debut. In his last fight, he knocked out Royce McKee. He's got a background in kickboxing. This is going to be a stand-up battle and a step up in competitions for Sola. I like Jones here.
I like the challenge, truly, for both guys. Jones is one of those guys that's, again, there's not enough about him. That war was awesome. It was great. But the level of competition hasn't really risen. Is that fair?
Yeah.
It hasn't really fought anybody better than Jeremy Stevens. Jeremy Stevens.
Yeah.
And it's, maybe Oki isn't as good as we read on paper. You know what I'm saying? After the last 2 fights, I don't know if it was that recent, but you get my point. Anyways, what do we got next? You got Curtis Campbell, Danny Silva. I picked the 2 easiest names on the card. No, for Curtis Campbell, what is this guy from? I know who this is. This is Michael Bisping's guy. This is the UK guy with the glasses. Nasty grappler. Am I wrong?
Nah, I don't think you're
Young
wrong
dude,
at all.
British dude. The Pink Panther's his name. He wears pink trunks. He does his hair all strange. Yeah, Danny Silva. Nice knowing you. That's how confident I am.
Well, all right. And my last sentence on here was I think he beats Campbell, but Roman Dolidze versus Christian Leroy Duncan. So Dolidze is 37. I mean, is this some kind of passing the torch here? He's 15-4. He had won 3 fights in a row. All of them were against vets. I mean, he beat up Anthony Smith, Kevin Holland. But then in his last fight, he lost by submission against Anthony Hernandez. It was in round 4, but Hernandez beat him up all fight. Duncan, he's 13-2. He's won 5 of his last 6. The only loss in that span he had was against RoboCop. This man did everything in his power to get RoboCop out of there, man. The guy just kept coming at him. He ended up losing to RoboCop by decision. But, man, this guy was trying his best. He showed me something in that fight. I became a fan of his by watching him lose, believe it or not. But he's won 3 fights after that and had a spinning back fist finishes in his last 2 fights.
Yeah. Again, special guy here. Sort of went under the radar. I honestly, at this point, can't say who this is a step up in competition for. This might be a step up for Roman, where he's like, I don't know what to do with this guy, because he is kind of strange in his striking, his what he does. He's very high energy the whole time too, very high pace, put a lot of output. Roman is kind of lethargic, he'll sit back, be patient a little bit from time to time. He will get a little crazy there. When he chooses, he'll explode. But I think that's where Christian's going to take advantage and just lay him out. I think he goes in and gets another highlight here. Why not?
Speaking of highlights, look who we got in the next fight.
He almost puked.
Mr. Highlight Reel himself. So we have Austin Lane moving down the light heavyweight versus Evil...
What, did he get a nose job?
Evil Baron Askey? Is Austin Lane going to make weight for this fight? Come the fuck on, man. He's 13-7. The guy gets knocked out in like all his fights, just about. I mean, he's lost 4 of his last 5. He's finished in all of those. He's terrible. He's going to get knocked out again. But he's fighting a Polish guy that's 7-0. And the last time we seen this guy was on a Contender Series. He had a 20-second knockout win. He should be able to do the same to Austin Lane. His opponent on the Contender Series, I don't even have his name on here. He's probably tougher than Austin Lane. Oh, and he made his UFC debut and knocked out Obo Aslan in 1 minute and 29 seconds. So, Austin Lane, nice to see you, buddy. Moving down the fucking light heavyweight. Why do they still have this guy around?
Fuck, do you slip through the cracks? What is he saying to the fucking UFC staff where they're like, oh yeah, here's another 3 fights?
He must have like a really hot girlfriend or something that Dana likes looking at ringside or some shit. I don't know.
On her feet, I think, at this point. But yeah, all I've seen is bad from Austin. All it is like a guy who looks good getting knocked out. Like, yeah, you make the other guy look awesome.
Yes.
We need those. We need those, Sam. We need our Sean Salmons. That's who Rashad Evans kicked into the next dimension. That guy was fucked up. That was one of the most insane knockouts ever. Michael Page, buddy.
Sam Patterson. This is the fight that Michael Page was like, I don't think the UFC even likes me. Because nothing against Sam Patterson, but he probably thought he should be headlining some money type fight. As late as he is in his career. I mean, he's 38 years old.
What are you doing?
So, he's 24-3. I mean, Sam Patterson's 14-2. Is no slouch. But he's been knocked out twice.
Exactly. Do you think that Venom Page had a different thought on him coming into the UFC than we did, where it's like, oh, I'm just going to have a couple fights and go out as a UFC fighter in my MMA career? Or did he come in and actually think he was going to be a champion? You know what I'm saying? Like, if he came in that cocky, that's why he would feel this way.
At least was hoping to get an opportunity to become a champion. But fighting people like Sam Patterson, I don't think is going to get him there.
But at 36 when we got him, right, you thought he was coming in to get that title.
Yeah.
Because Derek Brunson had a shot? Is that what you're saying? Okay, I love the confidence, but come on, man, be realistic. You're only going to get a couple fights and then go out as a UFC fighter and get an action figure or something. Other than that, because Bellator is basically dead at this point. But Sam Patterson's no slouch. He's gotten better, I think. I think Michael Venom Page is too weird for him, though. I think that weirdness is going to make him fight defensively, and that's going to get him in trouble because Venom Page is very much a counter striker. And once you get panicky and you're fighting defensive, you make mistakes. And Venom Page is right there to just fucking bite you, dude, and have some venom in. Put his venom inside you, Sam.
I'll tell you what, the only criticism I have of Venom Page is I wish to see him come in more, because then that guy comes, when he darts in and fucking hits you with the barrage of punches and darts back out, it's so goddamn quick. I mean, he's just boom, boom, and back out before you know it. And I know why he doesn't do it very often, because he wants it to be a surprise when he does it. And it is. I mean, he'll bait you the whole fight, then bam, bam.
It's also because I don't think that there's very much of that in UFC. Like, even just throughout the history, there's not very many fighters that fight that way and are that accurate. You know what I mean? He's so good at that, and people love to see it. That's why I think he might in his own head think that they're preparing for it, but you can't. You still can't. You can expect it. It's coming at some point. He's gonna fire on me, dude, with like 11 shots. I'm gonna be able to block like 4 of them. All right, let's make sure they're not right to my temple. But yeah, I don't know. They respect him. Otherwise, why is he the third fucking fight on this card, man? Let's
Yeah,
go.
well, look at who's the next fight is. But we'll get into it in a second. But Sam Patterson can have an instant name. He comes in here was the knockout MVP, and that's what the UFC wants. They want to, hey, we're gonna put him against people that no harm. Let's say Sam Patterson loses this fight, no foul. He's gonna be back, but if he knocks him out or beats MVP, he's or the better things. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, come on. It is a third fight on the card, but look who's next. A 12-0 Luke Riley versus Michael Aswell, who's 11-3.
I don't recognize either of them.
No. Riley, he's got 9 knockout wins. He's 12-0. He's got really quick hands. 11 of his wins were in Cage Warriors. He came in the UFC, knocked out Bogdan Grad. Aswell, 11-3, 6 KO wins. He came on a Contender Series, and he lost by split decision against Bogdan Grad. After that, he won by a split decision over a guy in Fury FC before coming back to the UFC where he's 1-1. I think he gets pieced up. I think Luke Riley beats the brakes off of him.
I would imagine that's what they're hoping as well. Pretty even, though. Pretty even. Interesting. Yeah, I ain't got nothing to add because I don't recognize them. You know?
Yeah. Well, so why in the fuck are they over Sam Patterson and MVP? And even if Sam Patterson was fighting someone lesser known than MVP, I still would expect them to be over these guys. I'm not even saying it because of the MVP name. All right.
Go ahead.
Mabsur Evlaviv. I know I'm fucking up. Lerone Murphy.
Think Avilov. Just stick with that.
Elov. All right, Elov.
That sounds like, I don't know.
This
Sounds like a
guy's
broom.
19-0. This guy would be a household name if his fights weren't so lackluster. But just about all of his fights are decision. His last 9 fights, decision wins. The last time he finished anybody was July 2018. He outpoints everyone with counters. Even when he hurt someone. He had a fight against Arnold Allen. He fucking hurt him with the flying knee. Did he go in and do anything? No, he had no killer instinct to go for the finish. Murphy, 17-0, 1 draw. Fingers crossed, man. I want Murphy to knock this guy out because I don't want to see someone so fucking boring up here at the top. That's the last thing we need is another boring ass fighter headlining in the UFC.
This is what they're doing with these guys. Like Tagir, is they're only fighting once every 7 to 12 years, and building up a record of undefeated because they're fighting a bunch of tomato cans for the first 6,000 months, and then they finally get they finally get booked to have the UFC pay for their flight and their hotel, and the Apex can help them train. They'll come over here and take on more fights and get in a position like Avilov and still somehow be boring. Like at a certain point, it's like, don't you know that you have to put on a fight? I get it that you want to win, man. We all love that. Charles Oliveira just showed us how much that matters, right? That doesn't mean we can't tell you that it's not fucking boring. And that doesn't mean that we can't sit there and say, yeah, maybe you shouldn't get paid as much as the guy who has 5 fights before you that went in there and fucking dove head first at a guy. Maybe you shouldn't get paid as much just because you're the fucking headlining. It wasn't as watchable, dog. I can't show clips of this to somebody who's never seen the sport before and convince them to watch it. And that's supposed to be the whole idea. You're supposed to be wanting to bring in new people constantly. You can't just we're all going to die off eventually, dumbass. Then what? Like, that's the part that I don't understand. And these guys are supposed to be these superior athletes. And it's like, if that's the case, then shouldn't you be good at everything at this point? It shouldn't just be that one fucking trick pony nonsense that we have to constantly see and want to avoid going to the bathroom just in case something dramatic happens. So I end up sitting there for fucking 2 hours watching the same boring fucking wrestling match. Yeah, don't leave it to the judges, motherfucker. That means finish the fight. If you could take him to the ground, then pin his ass. Do something. Can we get a 3 count in this motherfucker? Anything to get me out the fucking door to the next match. I'm so sick of sitting here waiting for something to take place when we're coming from an era where these things still existed, these rules still existed, and you had guys like Dan Henderson who would put you on your fucking back and smash your face in until somebody said stop. Mark Coleman who would do the same thing. Rashad Evans who would do the same thing. Or they would stand on the feet and they would blast you with fucking shots. What happened to that? Now we got guys who are just like, I'm just going to bury you into the corner of the cage and watch everybody boo. Why is that fun? Why can't you also hit him or try to submit him? Do something. Make it exciting. Even if you're not good at submissions, dude, fucking twist his ear. Something. Something to make us keep watching, not make you fucking stand up. I get the referee has different stipulations, but you're also still supposed to keep us fucking watching the channel. And they just don't do that the way that we do. And we do that by the support from our lovely audience, because they go to w.gg and they check out the promo code judges and get that 10% off, because it's energy drink in a packet, man. You ain't got to stop by that gnarly gas station every day, getting that disgusting coffee out of that same place, talking to those same fucking people with a half a mustache. It's gross, dude. Don't go in there anymore. You save your gas. You can get this energy drink, order it online. You ain't got to even talk to a person. And who likes people anyways? Get it, w.gg, promo code judges, 10% off. And while you're doing that, watching this or listening to this, wherever you are, check out Crawl Space, Comedy Crawl Space, The Crawl Space. Type it in, Crawl Space. You'll see the stupid little icon that I have, the guy with the gauges. And check out that content. You'll love it. It's about comedy. Check out Tectonic Cult for the music as well. And don't leave it to the judges on Instagram and Twitter. We post there sometimes, dude. Check it out. Judges MMA on YouTube.